JF Stretford Paddock, this is the Fulham preview. And joining me, as always, well, actually, you've got two for the price of one because it's my two favourite presenters on this channel. And I'm not even lying about that. It's Joe Smith. How are we doing, brother?
Very well. How are you?
I'm all right, yeah.
You're in a good mood today.
I am in a very good mood now. I've had a little vent. And also, Alex Bagley. How are we doing, Baggers?
I'm not bad.
Yes.
Not bad at all.
The housewife's favourite, as I like to call him. Fulham at home
United.
against United.
Fucking hell, is that us?
That's our last five results.
Dreadful.
We need to sort that out. We need to sort that right
That's
out.
like David Moyes-esque type form. You can see there the sort of the emphatic win over Roma, which was somewhat spoiled by the loss away. Then the win at Villa with a good win. Then the home loss to Leicester, which was, all right, it's the Rezzies. And then that god-awful result against the Scousers, 4-2 at home. Could have ended their top four hopes, but we didn't. I mean, it ain't a great run, is it? And we need to sort out, because we don't want to be going into the Europa League final on the back of an awful run of form. And also, we've lost 5 games at home so far this season.
6.
We've lost 6 already. Sorry, I'm getting mistaken. This could be 7 against the team that's already relegated. We need to sort it out, Joe.
Yeah, we do need to sort it out. The home form thing is remarkable, really. Just the fact that, I think you were saying that, yesterday, that we've won 3 of the last 15 against the big 6 at home. Like, that is incredibly bad. That's just terrible. Like, we need to find a way to sort that out. The team looks so sluggish and ponderous against Liverpool, are just full of mistakes. Didn't seem to have that that intensity that they would need after the first 10 minutes. First 10 minutes we started well, and then it just went to shit after that. And then the last 20 minutes we were all right, but the game was, essentially dead and buried by then. So we need to get rid of this thing where we have to go down or we have to be behind before we start playing properly, because you can't always pull yourself around, and that's what happened against Liverpool. When they had something to play for and we didn't, we were nowhere near them. And that was a full-strength team. We can't have it that our full-strength team is that easy to beat at home consistently throughout the season. It's just not good enough.
It isn't good enough. Baggers, I mean, we're going to get into predictions and all that sort of stuff in a bit, but going into this game, do you feel as confident as you should do when you're playing a team that's been relegated and United are still second in the league? Or do you feel that there is an element of something's going a bit wrong?
I feel confident we'll score goals.
Yeah.
I think it's shown in the last few games, getting even the goal against Leicester City, playing, like you said, the Rezzies, and we still got a goal in that game. Scoring 2 against Liverpool. We always looked like we were going to score goals. Scoring 2 against Roma, obviously the 6-2 win. We've looked good going forward. But once we lost Harry Maguire the other week against Villa, I think people have kind of realised that's the pre-Maguire defending, which you go, he's actually a good defender, he's a good defender, he's a good defender, and he's a good defender. But as a unit, it's woeful. We're all over the place. And it was, Joe said we started well. We started frantic, we pressed well, we did all that kind of stuff against Liverpool. But the whole team was frantic. There was never any sense of calm. And that, to get to 6 losses now in the entire season, and all coming at home. The other thing that happened was that after that City game last week, when City got beat by Chelsea, we had 4 losses in the league and they had 5. And you kind of went, that's still quite a good stat to cling on to. That only lose 4 times in the league, all of a sudden you've lost 6 games and that's kind of gone as well. And you've gone from having quite a good record in the season where you're going, do you know what? Draws you can kind of accept. If you can nick a goal next season, would be all right. But to do that, to go to 6 losses now is no good.
And according to my quick maths calculations, is that 12 goals, is it, in the last 5 games as well conceded? You're talking about shipping goals?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to add it up now, but I believe you're correct on that.
Right. I mean, that sells its own story, doesn't it? I mean,
12.
It's 12.
Yes. Thank you.
Quick maths from all
that,
of us.
We're just in, it's 12 goals.
That GCSE in maths.
That's 12.
I've had it confirmed. I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
12.
12. Yeah, thank you.
We've got a mathematician in the blimp hovering over the studio, haven't we? Send it up to the maths in the balloon.
Wait a minute. Hang on.
It's 12. It is 12. Confirmation. Earth numbers, 12.
So, 12 goals in 5 games. Yes, you can say the Roma second leg wasn't as important. And yes, it was the reserves against Leicester. But we're conceding goals all the time. And you can't just dismiss that. And it is worrying. And, you can look and go, well, Fulham are relegated. They're still capable of scoring goals. They scored goals against us already this season. Or a goal, I think, was it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, defensively, we're all over the gaff.
Yeah, it's not good enough, is it? And like you said, we all go into this game, well, Fulham are already relegated. maybe there's a case to be made that United are already safe in the top 4. Maybe if we were talking about anyone other than our team, you would say United have got nothing to play for in the league. And that's basically the only thing I'm holding out for. If you look at these games here, Roma, the second leg, nothing to play for. Leicester and Liverpool, obviously there's always something to play for against Liverpool, but talking, mathematically what is being played for by the team, nothing. With top 4 is safe. It was safe after the Villa game. The tie was safe after the 6-2 at home against Roma. Like, realistically, we don't have anything to play for, and I'm hopeful that is the reason why this is happening, rather than, we've all of a sudden stopped knowing how to defend, because we started the season terribly defensively. Then Christmas to sort of mid-April, we were really good, but we didn't score as many. Now, look, you say we've conceded 12. Well, we've scored 10, 12, 15, 17, 16 there. So we're scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah.
But we just can't defend again. So it's almost like I've said all season, we kind of have to pick. Do you want to defend well or do you want to attack well? Because this team, and again, I put it back to the midfield, which I've said all season, because that's where the transitions happen. You have to be solid going both ways. And when the ball goes from attacking to defending, we can't do both at the same time. So at the minute, it looks like we're picking to attack well and not defend well.
I mean, I'm just going to get you on this, Baggers, because he's mentioned there about defensively, we have to pick sort of one or the other. Now, if you go look against Liverpool, for example, I mean, who did they have at centre-back? Was it Phillips and who was the other kid? Wasn't Davis? Was it? I don't even know.
Don't know.
Yeah.
It was Reece
Phillips and Williams, right, at centre-back.
Yeah.
Probably neither of them getting our team.
No.
Yeah, they've got Fabinho in front of them who does a very good job for them.
Makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Huge difference. Do you feel like there is an issue there with, it's not just maybe defensive, but also in front of that defence, not giving them protection as well? Because, Fabinho, I don't want to keep going on about him, but he obviously does that job. You've got Fernandinho does it for City. And meanwhile,
Kante at Chelsea.
We've got Fred, who's, I think he's given away 3 goals in his last 3 games.
Yeah, he's been
from the edge of the box.
Really poor, Fred.
I mean, you can't just ignore that.
I think not just that. I think what's really been highlighted in the last, you look at those games, those 3 losses. You've got the Roma game. We rotated at half-time, brought on Brandon Williams and Wan-Bissaka and Telles,
yeah.
and looked really sure. Really poor. The Leicester game was a completely rotated team. We looked all over the place. Liverpool, you bring in the likes of, you bring Bailly in there. It's just, even Nemanja Matic coming on as the second choice towards the end, he made a mistake. He's cost us a goal. That second string we've got, for as much as we get rid of, Freddie McTominay, I think have definitely got issues, and I think that we've highlighted that. I think we've all maybe said that I think a midfield is important. I think across the board, defensively and in midfield, our second string is not good enough in the defensive positions. In terms of Eric Bailly, is Tuanzebe good enough? Telles, when he's on the pitch, I think when we've lost a lot of games with him, we lost the Sheffield United game again with him there. You've then got Brandon Williams, who doesn't look steady enough. Like I said, Tuanzebe didn't even come on when he could have come on as centre-half instead of Bailly in midweek. Our second string in the defensive areas is very, very poor. And I think that it's a big issue that we've not got the strength in depth in order to be able to do these things. And that's what's this shown these last few weeks. The Roma game, rotated, looked poor. Leicester game, put a completely second string team out, looked poor. Liverpool, you've got Bailly comes in instead of Harry Maguire in a big game. And we've gone from being defensively solid, considering we've not hardly conceded goals against the big 6 so far this season. We've got slated
5-0-0s, isn't it?
Slated for 0-0s, but that means we've defended well because they are good teams. To get 0-0s means something's gone right. You bring in Eric Bailly in, all of a sudden it's 4-2, and could have been a lot more. They missed a lot of chances in that game, and nothing. Wan-Bissaka's still there, Lindelof's still there, Fred McTominay is still there, Luke Shaw's still there. You change one player in there, you change Harry Maguire out, and it all looks over the place. And I think that has highlighted as much that we need to have another centre-half, whether that's someone that's going to be on the bench to sit in if one of those gets injured, or someone to partner Harry Maguire. We need another centre-half because we can't be... Liverpool have proved it this season. As soon as you lose your main man, they've crumbled. We can't be in that position because there's always a chance you lose someone. Look at City. They lost Laporte last season. They went, we're not doing that again. Not only did they sign Ruben Dias, who's very good, but they got Nathan Ake as well. And they went, if someone gets injured at this back 4, it can't all go to shit. We have to have 4 defenders here that are capable. And at this moment in time, I reckon we've got 1.5. That's probably it. That's capable of starting in Premier League games and in big games for Manchester United.
Going behind the defence, so goalkeeper, it did seem that Dean Henderson was, the answer to our problems. It seemed that he nailed down a league place, shall we say, because Ollie likes to rotate for the cups. But there was a few questions raised about his performance against the Scousers at fault, I think. I mean, it was a comedy of errors for the second goal, I think. Was it the third? I think was it the third one that Firmino's second? But he didn't have a great game, did Dean Henderson?
No.
It's weird because he'll make some good saves and then he'll make a mistake that, you know, you look at him and go, what are you doing there? There's already a clamour for maybe David De Gea to come back in. We're going to get to predicted 11s later, but do you see Ollie giving him a chance, David De Gea? That's the question. Will David De Gea get another league chance? You know, what do you reckon?
I don't know. I like David De Gea, obviously. He's done great things at United, but he's not been good enough. He just hasn't been good enough. And I don't know why people, just because Henderson's not very good against Liverpool, or, you know, he's had a couple of bad games this season, we just go, oh, it must be get De Gea back in. Well, no, because he's been shit since the World Cup in 2018. He was a bit better this season, but he still made plenty of mistakes. He still probably cost us that Everton game. It's like, why are we holding them to different standards? You've got to hold them to the standard that they've been putting out in the last 2 seasons or 1 season. And he's not been good enough, De Gea. And I like him, and I'm not saying we should sell him. I'm not saying he can never come back. And there's even that point where he might go to Real Madrid or PSG or wherever and go back to being the best goalkeeper in the world because we know he's got that in him. But for 2 years or 3 years now, he hasn't been that goalkeeper, and anyone who's watched Man United over that time, think of the mistakes he's made. We would have lost anyway, but terrible mistakes against Barcelona in the Champions League that put us out. The one where he catches the ball, just drops it in his own net against, was it Everton last season?
Watford.
Watford, he threw it in his own net.
There was one against Palace
There's
as well.
loads of them. Literally countless mistakes. Like this season, he's just been a bit shaky.
Arsenal.
The season before this, last season, he was just terrible. He just made loads of mistakes all the time.
Chelsea.
I'm not. I don't want to slag him off. And he was, I think, the best goalkeeper in the world for about 3 years, 2015 to 2018. He was unbelievable. But he went to the World Cup, and I'm not saying something happened there, but timeline-wise, that's where it seemed to start, the decline of David De Gea. So it's understandable why you're giving Henderson a chance. And I just, he palmed the shot down, the Firmino one he should have done better with. But the defence is just a calamity in front of him. Fred can't pass with his weak foot or his strong foot. Then Luke Shaw tries to dribble it out through the middle of the pitch into 4 Liverpool players. And then the ball comes straight at him and it bounces off him. Should have done better. But it's like, I just think, because he made a mistake or 2 yesterday, all of a sudden we have to go with De Gea, who just makes some different mistakes instead. Because De Gea had a great game against Villa, was it? People thinking, he should be first choice again. I just think it's maybe neither of them are the option. I like Henderson. I think he does a lot of good stuff. The way he closed down Mane and stopped him going around him was very good yesterday. The way he closed down Firmino, I think it was, to the point where he's 6-7 yards out and he's right on top of him. So when he has the shot, it just bounces straight off him. De Gea wouldn't have been there. Look at the goal that was it Calvert-Lewin scored in the last minute for Everton. De Gea that ball went in from the 6-yard line and De Gea was stood on his line. So just cycle that back to last night. He would have been stood on his line again and he would have put it in the corner of the net, or maybe it would have hit him, but who knows? He wouldn't have come out and pressed him. I just think the different types of goalkeepers, Henderson is never going to be the shot stopper that De Gea used to be, but as it stands, neither is De Gea.
Yeah, maybe. As Bill Clinton and Tony Blair used to say, there is a third way.
There is a third way.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Moving up to the other end of the pitch, baggers. Mason Greenwood has been banging the goals in this season. Not the whole season, but certainly the last couple of months he's been on fire. 6 goals in 7 games, I believe.
Not bad.
I mean, not bad. Took a lot of stick, didn't he, earlier in the season from a lot of idiots. Was obviously going through a bit of a bad time, but I mean, he's sort of replicating his end of season form last season, isn't he? Last season he was on fire, and this season he's doing it again.
I think he is. He's looked excellent last few weeks. All part of his play, he's build up on the ball. The goal against Leicester was fantastic. He's looked sharp again. He looks very, very good. Look, I think people that were doubting the ability of him and where he can go, I think the people have said he's 19 years old. He can still be one of the best players in the world. Yeah. Easily. There's no argument about that. For the fact he's gone to England and everyone said he's the best finisher. Maybe Harry Kane's just ahead of him. Same thing at the club. Henderson's been interviewed. Is he the best finisher by a mile? Ollie said it by a mile. He is the best finisher we've got. He's the best talent. He's got a higher ceiling than maybe Marcus Rashford's got as well. I think that he could go to being one of the best players in the world. I think these stats that are coming out, I think he's now got 17 goals as a teenager in the Premier League, or 16 goals. The highest as a Premier League player. Only Whiteside and Best are beating him.
Never heard of him.
In terms of the club.
Who are them?
Who are them?
Whiteside and Best.
I
Yeah,
think
all
Best
right,
had
mate. Making
19,
things up
which
now.
he's got until October. He's going to get another 3 goals in the Premier League before October.
Yeah.
He'll probably take over George Best as one, and only have Noah Whiteside as the best teenager scoring ever for Manchester United.
Yeah.
He's pretty good in considering he's played on the right hand side as well. He's not been playing through the middle. He's not been playing in his favourite position. He's absolutely quality. I think that he's building himself up. I think he's got a lot of things to improve on. I think he's got to get his heading ability better. I think he's got to add that to his game, add something a bit different. But apart from that, he's quality. And it's just a case of how he's fitting in the next few seasons. There's a lot of talk about who's going to be our signings this summer, whether it's going to be someone on the right-hand side, whether it's another striker. Either way, Mason Greenwood will be pushing either of them and will probably push one of them out of the team at some point in the season. I think that, look, he's been quality, and I can't wait to see where he goes.
Absolutely agree with all that. He's amazing. And I think you're right. He has got that potential, and it's more than potential. We're seeing it really in effect now. They've been one of the best strikers, or best attackers, whatever you want to call him, on the planet. With all that being said, Mr. Smith, who's in your starting 11? This is preferred or predicted, or what were you two? Because I never know.
This is just what I think it'll be.
Right, that's predicted.
No two ways about it, mate.
Right, all right, mate.
Do you know what I've done? If I was because what I've done is I'm the manager, and I've walked in there and I've gone, hey, you lot, you dickheads who played against Liverpool, you're all playing again.
That's the John Sitton school of management.
And you better.
You got us into this mess. You can fucking get us out
you
of
got
it.
us into this mess. You can get us out of it. Rashford, Bruno, Pogba, Cavani, etc. I do the whole team, but we ain't got time.
No,
but I would have if I was a
in the
manager.
interest of brevity,
I'd get him in 2 or 3 minutes early so I could go through them all.
Yeah.
You lot, you were shit against Liverpool, and you're going to prove that you can beat the worst team in England. And if you can't, you know what? You're all getting sold. And if I can't get, if I can't get a buyer for you, you're going to be playing five-a-side in the fucking park.
If you're not, you just shit.
Twat. But that's what I'd do.
Right,
I'd pick the same team because first of all, I think it's our strongest team. Maybe I can see an argument for trying to fit Greenwood in there somewhere, but I would give that team another go and say, I need to see more from you because you're all, especially that midfield. Fred and McTominay must know that they're sort of playing for their future at Manchester United.
I feel sick,
Why?
I'm just getting to this point where I've stuck up for Fred, and when we was at the Etihad and he had that amazing game last season, I said I'm sorry to him for doubting him.
Right.
But he just fills me with
back
dread. Yeah, like he's just I don't know what's going on with him. He's when he's bad, he's genuinely.
You want him to stop filling you with that, don't you?
Yeah, when he's bad, he's as bad as anyone I've ever seen in a
You
red
want to
shirt.
say stop Dread Fred. That's what you want to say, isn't it?
Oh, that's class pudding. Stop dread, Fred. Yeah, he really is, and I don't like saying that about any Manchester United player, and I do see what he brings to the team, but you can't ignore the fact that his bottom level is just League One standard. It really is, and he's got to snap out of that. Yeah,
especially when he's stressed and when it's not going right. Like yesterday, he started all right.
Yeah,
like I said, first 10 minutes, but once they scored, he just went, I'm not a footballer anymore.
No, and it's
I'm
like
pass the ball to your team.
Yeah, once you start noticing it, you notice it's like one after the other, and you're just willing him to make a pass to a red shirt. Just get this out of your system.
There's a point yesterday where he was in our half, Luke Shaw was on the touchline, and there was no one near Luke Shaw, and it was like a 20-yard pass that anyone that's ever played five-a-side could make, and he passed it, and you went, that's better, Fred, well done.
Yeah.
And it's like, that shouldn't be a compliment. You shouldn't have to say that.
It was relief, though. I remember saying that 'cause it was relief.
But it was it's the most basic of passes, and that's what we're congratulating him for.
Over the top to Rashford, I think it was. And Trent didn't even have to jump to stop it. It hit him about knee high. He might go over Trent. You go, what are you doing?
There was one where it went to, I think it might have been Trent again, it went to. And when you looked at it, you thought, there's no one there. Like, I don't know what you've seen because Marcus Rashford was about 20 yards away. Yeah. And then I think there was Luke Shaw. Again, was another 20 yards away. There's I can't imagine what has gone through your head to play that pass because
it was between
Cavani miles away from anyone.
Cavani and Rashford were
right?
40 yards between each other, and he just put it straight between them, straight to Trent. You're like, even if he hadn't touched that, that's just a throw in near their corner flag.
What is what's going on here? And I don't like hating on players. Listen. I want Fred to do well. I'm not want to get rid of all that, but we can't ignore the fact that he's been woeful the last few weeks. Baggers, who is yours predicted as well?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Predicted.
Go on then.
I've got rid of Fred. That's him. Done.
Well,
there's that argument done.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Ollie's on
I'll
your
start
page.
with the front six. I've just gone, fuck it, there's our best players, go and play. That's kind of what I've gone for because We're playing
that
Fulham.
lot.
They're not that good. Let's just try and beat them with our best footballers.
That's a
At the
good
back,
shout.
I put Twanzebe in because Eric Bailly came off, and I just think that there might be an injury there, something like that.
shout.
I've done that. And I put De Gea in because I think this is his last game at Old Trafford. I think this is his bye-bye fans.
Hadn't thought about that because there will be fans in the stadium. That's a good point,
It's
Alex.
the last game at Old Trafford. That's
Well
it done.
Alex Bagley.
And
He's always thinking
you
outside
talked
the box.
about Dean Henderson and who's going to be better. I think that doesn't matter what happens these last 3 games. That decision's been made. Either De Gea's going or Henderson's going. One of them is going in these next. They're not going to be there both of them next season.
Yeah.
And the signs that have been. De Gea playing all these cup games, quite important cup games. He's not being rested in the league. He's playing Dean Henderson in the league. I think De Gea's done. Whether that means we're going to sign another, whether Dean Henderson goes as well and we end up signing another
Tom
big
Eaton's
goalkeeper.
coming in apparently, but that's
Yeah.
only that's like Lee Grant tackle.
But if we start going big money, which I don't think we'll do on a goalkeeper, that could happen. But I think that De Gea, this will be his last game at Old Trafford, so I think he'll start just because it'll be farewell to the fans, thanks for your service kind of thing at Old Trafford. So that's why I've gone for De Gea, not because of Henderson's bad form or game against Liverpool. But that's what I've gone for. That's what I want. Who knows what's going to happen because he probably will play Fred again. But I want to see Mason play because he's firing. And Cavani, first time in front of the fans, has to start. You can't leave him on the bench.
I was thinking looking at that team, I like that. Just quickly, the other day, do you know when Ollie said, or he didn't say it, he brought on Matic for Bailly and put McTominay at centre back instead of bringing Axel on. Did that not make you think of Jose saying, "I ain't got any midfielders on the bench"? And Fred sat on the bench.
Juventus.
Yeah,
I remember that
it's
when
that
we lost
same
1-0.
thing. It's like he's basically
There's a
said,
vote of confidence.
I don't believe in Twanzebe with that, isn't he?
Look at that.
He
Look what I've got there.
He also played, whether Twanzebe was fit, he also played 90 minutes, having not played
and let's
at all.
not forget, these
2
players,
days ago.
Twanzebe, even Eric Bailly, they haven't played a lot of football over the last few months, so you don't know the thinking
And
there.
maybe he wanted the passing range of McTominay from a bit deeper because he's better on the ball than Axel is. Maybe that was what the
and
thinking
maybe
was.
there's that thinking of, you're in the game, you're in the middle of it, it's better than someone coming into this,
I think
which is quite a frenetically paced game, and having to get to grips with it.
I think Twanzebe played all right against Leicester the week.
Yeah. I didn't particularly agree with the decision not to bring Twanzebe.
He played okay against Leicester the week. I think that his worst performances have been coming off the bench, and I think there's something
Everton
coming off the bench into this team when it's chaos. I think even with Harry Maguire there is a tough ask. I think that we've got something. If you come off the bench as a defensive player, as a midfielder, you saw Brandon Williams and Tellez come on.
Yeah. Just in a whirlwind, weren't they?
A bit
both
of all
them?
over the place. And I don't think Harry Maguire's quite got that calm down lads kind of thing around him. He's better than the other ones, but coming in with Lindelof next year, things aren't quite going right. I don't think it's there. I think that's
Whereas
maybe
Matic
why.
has got loads of experience in doing that, hasn't he?
So he
Matic
just
is
gives
10
the ball
years
away
older.
anyway, but-
Well,
and-
but you can see the thinking.
Yeah.
Matic
Yeah,
has
that
been
might
coming
be
on
it.
as a sub, playing in these games for 10 years. Axel's played a handful in his whole career.
Yeah.
I get it, but it just felt a bit like, I ain't got any fucking
It wouldn't
defenders
be
on the bench.
again. wouldn't
I'd
surprise
rather
me.
as well.
I'm
This
here.
sounds insane, but I'd rather that Matic came on and made that mistake than Axel.
Yeah, me too.
Do you
Especially
know what
after
I
the
mean?
Everton one.
Because Axel comes on, makes a mistake against Scousers, and everyone loses the mind and goes, is it again? He's done him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Forget about him now. Whereas Matic comes on and we all go, well, we know he's a bit past it anyway.
Yeah, and he's won 2
and
Premier Leagues.
Yeah,
it don't
I
matter.
don't think he's
Whatever
losing
won.
too much sleep over that one. Right, I'll go to mine. Mine's are predicted as well. I've sort of gone with a little bit similar to both of you. I've gone with Henderson in goal. I didn't think of what you said, though, Baggers, so I get where you're coming from with that one. I just think, for me, even with the crowd thing, I just wonder whether Ollie thinks if I drop Henderson now for a league game, it's like, you were shit the other day, so I'm dropping
It's
you.
a tough one.
Do you know what I
isn't it?
mean? Like,
Unless
even
he'd
though
already
he could-
said to him.
even if he could
Well,
win
I
his last
see-
game
see,
in
I
front
think
of
this
the fans,
decision's
that's
been
why
done.
you're in. That's why David Hayes in. If he's done that, then I get it. If not, and he's not told him yet, then I think he might say just throw him back in because I don't want him to feel like I'm dropping you, so I'm blaming you for those goals.
If let's say we're 3-0 up and De Gea is definitely leaving, you could always bring him on as a sub.
Yeah, fuck
I
it.
see,
Yeah,
I
they
think
did that in the
I
cup final,
think
didn't he,
the
with
decision's
Tim Howard and Roy Carroll, do you remember? In the FA Cup final.
I think the decision's done. I think the decision of Henderson or De Gea it's finished and done. There's wherever he's going is already done. I don't think it's gonna rumble on in the summer. I think that something's happened. I think De Gea will just be. He knows where he's going. They've sorted it. It'll be a loan where we're paying half his wages.
Who is he going to? You know something, don't you?
No, I don't know anything.
You do?
I
Don't lying.
He's going to
Just
Spain.
tell us your
No, I don't
ITK.
know. I
and
don't
you've
know
got
in
a
the know.
contact
I don't.
at the club.
I don't.
Right.
Say it.
I don't. Do you know why Matt else play?
Go on.
I've not just thought this. Why Matter? Because he might not play again as well.
Fucking hell, what is this? The
I'm just having
invitational
a guess.
Jones,
testimonial?
come on down.
Hey, do you know what I
It
mean?
is Fulham.
Apparently, the groundsman's leaving at the end of the year. We're going to let him take the throw-ins.
We're going to go
Could be.
double goalies.
Yeah, like, this isn't a fucking testimonial. It's a game that could stop us having the worst home record we've ever had. So, I'm not
That's a
quite
beautiful
feeling
point
that.
there. Beautiful point, Jay.
I don't, just sort of giving out appearances to people because they're old.
And yet that's what we do with you on this preview. So
I just thought that as I said it. So, something about glass houses and, that sort of stuff. Stones. I've gone with Cavani up front, Greenwood on the right, Bruno. I've gone a bit like you, Baggers. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Fred has to be taken out of the firing line because he's just falling apart. He needs a bit of a breather, and hopefully, if he does come back for the final, Europa League final, he'll be back to his best. Back four, I've gone with Eric Bailly. I just think the two-hands Abe thing the other day seems to me, it felt to me like I didn't trust him. And I don't know if he'll trust him for this game, even though, you can go, it's only Fulham. I just feel like he's going to go with Eric Bailly and Victor Lindelof. I've gone with Henderson as well because he's our league goalkeeper, and I don't feel like he'll do the whole in front of the crowds thing. But, I might be wrong. And to be honest with you, there's that fine margins with Henderson and De Gea. I do prefer Henderson, but it's not that big. It's not that big, the difference. Moving quickly on to Fulham, if we can just look at their sort of last 5 games, how they've been getting on. You can see there.
it's almost as bad as ours, that, isn't it?
I mean, well, they've been tearing up some trees, haven't they? That is shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, let's have it right. I mean, the only draw there is a draw against Arsenal, and they've lost all the rest, including losses to, Villa, Wolves, and Burnley are hardly.
And not scored many on the way either, have they?
No.
Scored 2 goals in the last 5 games.
One player who may have a say in this game, if they are to get anything out of it, is Lookman. You can see there. I mean, that is someone who's an effective player for a team that's very bad.
Clutching at
Yes.
straws, aren't we?
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
4 goals, 4 assists in a relegated team is like, he's one of their better players.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If that was like, obviously City or United, you'd be like, well, what's all that about? But yeah, it's not exactly, oh my God. But if you have got to keep around someone, it's going to be him.
Yeah, he's good. He looks sharp and things like that. I think they've lacked a goal scorer all season. I think they've got some good creative players like Lookman, and just lacked someone. I think they may be relying on Mitrovic to do a job, and he's just not even fancied him at all.
Remember when we were in with him?
Well, he's one of those players that is fantastic in the Championship, but terrible in the Premier League.
It's like Dwight
there's a
Gale.
lot of players. Yeah, Dwight Gale's a good example of that. There's loads of them, but he's
a bit of a head case,
Mitrovic was
isn't he, Mitrovic?
sensational last season, and then just shocking this year. Shame.
If we can have a quick look at our head-to-head, how we've got on against the Cottagers. That's the nickname. Don't look at me like that.
Not everyone will know what that means, so don't worry about it.
No.
Well, I do.
I know you do.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got an awful record against them. It's just terrible. We never
bad,
get
isn't
anything like, you know what I mean? 1 draw and 4 wins out of the last 5 games. Quite a few goals in there as well. With all that being said, Baggers, what's your score prediction?
3-1 United.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick to my little motto of we can't do both, so I'm going to go 1-0 United.
Oh.
Fancy a clean sheet. I fancy us to win, but if we're not conceding, we're not going to score 5. So
It's amazing how you
1-0.
watch the Liverpool game when I fancy a clean sheet.
Because I think we'll do the opposite. That's what I'm saying. I think we'll go not sit back, but I think we'll be defensively very solid. And then I don't think we'll make many chances.
I think
we'll
go for
win.
it because of the team I predict. So I'm going to tie my score prediction into the team that I
see,
predicted. It's
that's
the first time I've ever done that because I never usually think about it. So I'm going to go because we're going to go for it attacking wise. We're going to leave gaps at the back, but we'll have too much for them to cope with. Yeah. So I'm going to go 4-3.
4-3.
Yes.
To Man United.
To Manchester United Football Club.
What a scoreline.
Yes.
Surprised it wasn't more. I thought you were going to go like 6-2 or something mad like that.
6-8.
6-8.
8-6 to us.
8-6 to us.
Okay, right. 8-6 to us. Yeah.
Put a quid in it.
Don't do that.
So you're going 4-3?
Yeah, I'll go 4-3. Okay. Get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think the score will be. Also, you can send your score predictions to
Paddock matchday@gmail.com. It's just going across the bottom.
I know, but I missed it and then I forgot.
Paddock matchday@gmail.com. Should know it by now, Jay. Come on.
Hello. I think Andy Tate's going to be back. Hey! There's only one Andy Tate. One Andy Tate. Hey, give it gigs it to end at season. He's going to be here.
Is he from Yorkshire?
I don't know why I said
Give
that.
it gigs it to end at season.
I just want a Barcelona style of play.
That's
That
more
much
like
better.
it.
You've done well there.
That's better.
Don't care.
Very good.
Um,
Proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. I've only been doing it for the last 5 years. So Andy Tate's going to be here. Joe's going to be here. Maka.
No round of applause for me. That's weird.
Sorry. Bit rude. Sorry. Means less when
Even
you-
Cam slapping.
means
there.
less when it's prompted, doesn't it? It's like a sympathy.
Does it mean more? It doesn't mean more.
This means
This
nothing.
means more.
This means more.
So Joe's going to be here, Adam McCullough, and Andy Tate. You're going to have me and Baggers for the pre-match show as well, so make sure you check that out. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. That's been Joe Smith. Go and check him out, Joe Smith 93. That's been Alex Bagley. Where can they find you?
Baggers_Alex.
Yes.
He's all over that TikTok.
Baggers
He loves it. I know.
Alex.
Bit rude.
Jay doesn't know that.
Yeah, sorry.
Shocking.
You don't know what Andy Tate's
Me
voice is like
me
either.
in-laws know that Baggers is a social media presence. Don't you worry about that anyway.
What your father-in-law thinks of Alex Bagley has nothing to do with this podcast, this preview.
And on that note,
On that bombshell, this has been the Paddock Fulham preview. Thanks for watching.